Welcome back everybody. In this video, I'm going to show you how to solve sum of n numbers problem following compare process. So let's read the problem. As usually, I copied the problem into my workspace. So n numbers are given in the input, read them and print their sum. The first line of input contains the integer n, which is the number of integers to follow. Each of the next n lines contain one integer. Print the sum of these n integers. Okay, so let's try to break down this problem. So what are the inputs? All right, so there are two inputs. One is n number, okay, and the other is the numbers to follow. Okay, all right. So the output is basically we need to print the sum, right? So the output print the sum. Okay, so as we move on in the in the in the in the program flow, we need to take integers and then get their sum. Okay, so let's write down what needs to happen. So let's take an example. N equals just like 4. Okay, so 4. So we need to basically take 4 input and then ask 4 numbers as input. Okay, so we need to ask number 1 and then number 2 and number 3 likewise. So instead of asking like 4 times, we can ask for this number inside a for loop. So it's really a simple kind of for loop. Okay, so basically, so just write down your thought process. Okay, ask for an integer 4 times. Okay, all right. So and then basically as you enter, get their sum. Okay, all right. So let's try to find a match. So in the previous problem, we got uh, sum of 10 numbers, right? Sum of 10 numbers. So if you solve that problem, this one is pretty much the same problem. Instead of n, we had 10 there. Okay, all right. So let's try to come up with the plan for this one now. Okay, so first we need to step 1, we need to get the input n. Okay, and then, well, we are summing up. So every time we are generating a variable, we need to initialize that variable. So init sum. Okay, the next step. So third step is basically now we have to basically keep asking n times that number. So 4, okay, 4 n times, okay, n times, then we are inside now for loop. So I usually do 3.1. Okay, so we need to get the number. So input, okay, input and integer. Okay, and next step 3.2, add it to the sum. Okay, and at the end of the for loop, fourth step, we print the sum. Okay, all right. All right. So this is our plan. So let's write our code. Okay. So first thing, right? So I'm going to take number as n. I like to take expressive names. So int. So we need to convert, remember, input is a string. So we need to convert it to an integer. So input number. I like to write a prompt over here as well, but in CodeCheck, you cannot submit a prompt from there. Okay, so I'm going to leave it there. So it's good to have a prompt so that you will see what it's asking. Okay, in when the program run. Okay, all right. So now what we have to do is we have to basically initialize. The next step is initialize the sum. So we initialize this to a 0. Usually if it is a sum, we initialize it to 0. If it is a product, we initialize it to 1. Okay. So for, okay, numbers, okay, numbers, not number, in. So we need to collect n times. So that means we need a range over here. Range, okay, number, all right. And these two steps, I can write it in a single step. Okay, so sum equals sum plus int input. Okay, so we need to ask that number that many times, int input, and that's it. So we have the sum now. So at the end, the fourth step, we print sum. Okay, all right. So let's call this and let's run this and then review. Okay, so I usually write a main program for that, but I'm going to simply run this one over here. Okay, so all right, so it's asking an input for now. Let's run it for 5. Okay, so I'm giving just for the testing 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. So I got 10. Okay, so I just added inputted same number 5 times. So 5 times 2 is 10. Okay, so it seems like it's running. So the other thing I ask you guys to do is whenever you are writing this kind of for loop, you can actually print what is going on inside. So using the print function is one of the fundamental debugging option. So for example, over here, you can print numbers and the sum together. Okay, so and I'd probably put a space in between. Okay, so that's where you know what's going on, and it's a sort of use it as a debugging step. So let's run it again. So I'm going to run it for 5 again, 2. See that each step it's putting the 2 outcomes, and 2 again, 2 again, 2 again, 2 again, and I got the answer 10. Okay, and after that you can log this one out if the program runs correctly. And the other thing is you can also make your code elegant by writing this as sum plus equals this. Okay. Sometimes, some interviewers judge a student based on their coding style and then uh, take as a measure. Okay. All right. So there you have it. Sum of n integers following Ampere process.